Cancer new moon is asking you to stop abandoning the version of yourself that you can't stop daydreaming about. New moons are a time for setting intentions and planting new seeds. And especially over the next 6 months until the Cancer full moon in December, you will feel the new foundation that you've built for yourself. Because when it comes to Cancer, she is all about belonging and asking you right now, what does peace feel like to you? This is not about chasing the hustle outside. Instead, this energy is going to hit especially deep if you're feeling emotionally exhausted, questioning your direction, or finally done with choosing peace over productivity. Today, we're going to dive into the powerful energy of this Cancer new moon, and it is not just the astrology. Of course, we're going to cover that, but also we're going to get into the mindset shifts, where this is happening in your chart specifically, and how to use this energy for your next level. If you're new here, hi, my name is Sophia and I grew up around astrology. I cannot remember a time where I didn't learn about the planetary movements or moon cycles or dove in with my mom into the magic of birth charts. There is nothing I love more, so I'm so excited to share the magic of this new moon with you. I do not believe that astrology is here to tell you what you can and cannot do. Instead, I want you to understand yourself so deeply that you can create the life that you want. My motto is, what good is knowing about these energies if we don't know how to use them? So today we're going to make sure that this Cancer new moon helps you step into the new version of yourself. Now, let's first talk about what makes this new moon so powerful. We have two lunar cycles. One is from the new moon until the full moon. So this means from this Cancer new moon to the Aquarius full moon this month. But there is a bigger cycle going on in the background, which is from this Cancer new moon to 6 months from now to the Cancer full moon in December. So this is your powerful and overarching theme that is going to come to fruition at the end of the year. Think about the version of yourself that you want to be 6 months from now. This is where you're doing the groundwork and setting the foundation for that next level version. Now, the beautiful thing about Cancer energy, she is here to help you learn how to receive. A lot of people confuse Cancer and just think she is the crybaby of the zodiac. What are we going to do with her? It's all just about emotions. And while that is a part of her, Cancer energy is deeply feminine, and she is very powerful in healing the past, setting foundation for your success, for your future. She's making sure that you feel safe, that you feel grounded, that you feel held, so you can go out into the world and create magic. So learning how to harness this energy is going to be very, very powerful. Now let's dive right into the astrology of this new moon. We obviously have the sun and moon both in Cancer conjunct at the same degree, because this is what happens when we have a new moon. Then on top of that, we have this new moon squaring Saturn in Aries and conjunct Mercury retrograde in Cancer. But hold up, let's run it back and talk through these energies one by one. Now, we already talked a little bit about the Cancer energy. A lot of people misunderstand it as just being emotional, family oriented, and nurturing. But Cancer energy is really giving us this feeling of belonging and safety. She's asking you, what is making you exhale? What is making you feel safe in your body? Where are you constantly surviving instead of living? She's here to remind you that you deserve more than just survival, that you do not have to repeat the past. Instead, you deserve to heal and you deserve to live emotionally regulated and at peace. And with this new moon being conjunct this Mercury retrograde, this is not just about new beginnings. I know I talked about the new moon having the theme of planting seeds, and this still stands. But a deeper layer with this Mercury retrograde is revisiting old relationships, old memories, old version of yourself. That can really look like people coming back into your life to remind you of the emotions and the version of yourself that you've been in the past, and that you deserve to choose a new thing today, that you deserve the power of choice and to move forward with your life, that you do not need to cling to the past, because Cancer energy also can be very nostalgic and can cling to past lovers, past friends, and to old memories and always think this was better, or my old friends know me better, or my past lovers know me better. But in truth, you're just trying to stay in the familiar to avoid the uncertainty and the unknown of the future. So, this powerful new moon is asking you to make yourself feel safe, to revisit and rewrite the things that you thought about yourself and those people, versions of yourself, or relationships in your life. Instead, start something new. On top of that, we have this new moon squaring Saturn in Aries, and this is a very beautiful energy because Saturn is not just the daddy of the zodiac like a lot of people talk about her. She is feminine earth energy. And if you know me and my astrology, you know that I talk about Saturn in a very different way. I've been studying astrology over 10 years and have read thousands of charts, and I would never call Saturn the daddy because she is the matriarch. She is the old wise woman, here to remind you that you do not have to suffer like she did. So when people are very afraid of Saturn and think she's here to punish you, I want to give you a new perspective. Especially with this new moon, we have a deep feminine energy around this new moon. This is very powerfully connected to our intuition and to the women around us and the women who came before us. So you have this powerful time of reflecting on the past, of revisiting the old versions of yourself and the opportunity to choose something new, while also having this inner tension between choosing something else, but also feeling the pain that the women before you have felt. With Saturn in Aries, collectively, we're feeling the wound of the women who did not get to decide their own fate, who did not have the opportunity to choose for themselves their own identity, to lead their own lives, to be confident in who they want to be. So you might feel this tension of, this is the people who know me, this is the people who helped me grow up, this is the people who shaped me into the version of that I am today. And also this feeling of limitation from either society, your family, your friends. And you might feel this inner fight inside of yourself right now between choosing to stay in the past and to choose what is familiar, where people know you as that old version of yourself, or choosing somewhere new. And you get to decide that. You will just feel this energy coming up inside of yourself, and you can choose to stay where you are right now, or you can choose to look at the patterns coming up because, as I said, Saturn is the old wise woman. She has seen every pain, every trauma, every suffering, and she does not want the same thing for you. And Aries is always the energy of desire, of leadership, your body. So, not having autonomy over our own bodies. This is a very, very powerful and deeply freeing energy that I want to make sure you use to choose a new and different future for yourself. Next up, let's dive right into the mindset shifts of this new moon. With Cancer comes the energy of familiarity, and I already talked about this a little bit, but this can become very easy and a big habit to stay with the things that are familiar. Our brains, if you didn't know, I'm also a certified neuroscience coach, so I love to look at the neuroscience and what is happening in our brains when it comes to changing, when it comes to becoming that favorite version of ourselves that we truly want to be. Our brain is afraid of that because our brain is made for survival. It is not thinking about you thriving, instead, it is just thinking about keeping you safe. So, something that comes up with this new moon is really looking at the things that you just feel are familiar and safe to you. And safe doesn't always mean right, because what feels safe to you right now could just because you do not know what it means to be truly safe and at peace. If you are someone who grew up in a very tumultuous home and you did not have safety and an emotional regulation, it might feel normal for you and familiar for you to be in situations that are dysregulating, that are very up and down with high emotional roller coasters. Just because that is familiar doesn't mean that it is safe or good or it helps you thrive. It is just your version of safety and familiarity. Instead, you have a very full, powerful mindset shift right now and the opportunity to tap into something new. This can look like venturing out into the world, starting to post for the first time when you might be afraid to show yourself, speaking up, deciding that you want to dress differently so people might notice you more. And this is something that's very outside of your comfort zone, but you've been wanting to do. So look at the things where you're still choosing the past over the future and where you're still choosing your happiness and your thriving and not choosing your happiness and your thriving, and instead focusing on just staying in what feels familiar and especially staying in what other people around you approve of. You need to approve of your own life, and it is very important that you tap into your own happiness and peace with this new moon. On top of that, we have a big theme around self abandonment because, yes, Cancer is nurturing energy. She's the archetype of the mother. And something that usually happens with heavy Cancer energy, if you also have Cancer in your chart, there is a big theme of always taking care of others, of always nurturing and overgiving and not knowing how to receive. You constantly give so much to other people, and it scares you to be the one who receives and gets because you know that this is something that people can use against you and manipulate you with their emotions to make you feel guilty for receiving. So this is a big reframe with this new moon around learning how to receive without guilt and not abandoning yourself, your needs, your desires, and your dreams for other people. And because we have this new moon squaring Saturn, and we already talked about her being the old wise woman, she has a lot of responsibility. Saturn is definitely connected to responsibility, but not in the way that we've always talked about. Instead, she is the one who always makes sure that everyone is good and she oversees the whole thing. I think if you look at families, especially in recent years, you always see, even when people talk about traditional families, it is always the woman running the show. The woman has the responsibility. She's taking care of the children, she's running the household, she's taking care of the man, she's doing everything. She's literally taking responsibility for everyone around her. And this is Saturn energy, the heaviness of responsibility, because you know everything rests upon your shoulders. So you have also a new and powerful opportunity with this new moon. There is a very big window of opportunity to decide what are the things that are actually your responsibility and what are things that you've just gotten used to that people put onto you because they just said, you know what, I don't want to do it, you do it. Especially for us as women, we will see this. We have this innate desire to take charge. I do not care what anyone says about feminine energy. This is taking charge energy. It is taking care of everyone else energy, and taking care of people around you means being very protective, being very organized, and being very clear and knowing how to take charge and responsibility. And this is what this new moon is reminding us of. But instead of taking responsibility and nurturing everyone around us, it is asking us to learn the responsibility of taking care of ourselves. Because when you take care of you, when you invest in you, when you invest in your future, this is when you give yourself the best opportunities, when you create the most beautiful things and you see what people are actually meant to be in your life. So make this a new moon where you focus on yourself, on your desires, on the things that make you feel safe, and stop abandoning your needs, your dreams, and your desires for the comfort of others. Now, of course, I promised you that we're going to look at your personal birth chart and what area of your life is getting activated for this new moon. And that's going to be very easy. You have two options. Either you just pull up your birth chart and look for the 21st degree in Cancer. This is where this new moon is happening. So you will see the house, and this is going to show you the area of your life that is feeling this energy the most. If you don't know how to do that, do not worry. You're just going to scroll down at the end of the description of this video. You're going to see a step-by-step guide on how to pull up your birth chart with the transits for this new moon on astroseek.com. To make this easier for you, I'm going to pull up my birth chart so you can see the area of my life where this new moon is highlighting my birth chart. For me, it's going to be the third house. And whatever house it is for you, this is going to show you the area of your life that is activated by this energy, where you getting all of these questions, all of these energies that we talked about right now. For me personally, that means the overarching theme of this is, do I feel safe to share my voice and own my truth? This can be different for you. And if you do not know what your house means, I do not want to make this too long. So we're going to make it very easy. Just download my free Divine Blueprint Guide. I'll go through all of the houses. It is very easy, and you can immediately see what this house means for you and what area of your life is getting lit up by this new moon. Now, this is especially helpful because knowing the area and the house that this is happening in is going to give you more intentional focus and energy to plant those new seeds. And because it's happening in my third house, I already know I will be focusing on owning my truth, thinking about the way that I talk to myself, the stories that I tell myself about my success, my voice, my truth, about the things that I can achieve. What am I telling myself every day? And also the way that I show up on social media. This is a powerful new moon, and you can use this energy every time intentionally based on the house and the area that's happening in. Now that you know where this Cancer new moon is happening, let's talk about how to work with it and to harness its power for yourself. Because this is a Cancer new moon, connection to water is very beneficial. This could be bathing, going for a swim, or just being connected to water, listening to ocean sounds while you journal, and then really sit with yourself. Think about the things that you want to build. We already talked about this is a connection with reviewing the past with this Mercury retrograde in this Cancer energy, and also building something new. So, really connecting to yourself and reflecting, asking yourself, where am I still choosing familiarity over alignment? What boundaries do I need to set for my next level? What would my future self thank me for if I started it today? Really connecting deeply with the version of yourself that you want to become. I've also created a monthly moon guide where I go into my own personal rituals. I also did 2 audios for you and a full breakdown of the new moons and full moons. So if you want that as well, this is also going to be linked below, totally free, if you want to dive even deeper into this new moon and Cancer energy. Now, before you close this video, I want to remind you of one thing. The next 6 months are going to pass whether you work with this new moon or not. So I hope today that you choose self-trust over fear, that you decide that you are done with the familiar and you're ready for your next level, that you do not need to be in survival mode for any longer. Instead, you get to do the things that make you feel alive. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to like, subscribe. Don't forget to download those 2 free guides in the description, and I'll see you in the next one.